I'm Ron Wyden, and I'm one of Oregon's 2 United States Senators. When I was coming up in high school, I wanted to play in the National Basketball Association. I went to school on a basketball scholarship and realized I just wasn't going to make it to the pros. And as I got more into academics, I ended up graduating from Stanford, and I went to the University of Oregon Law School. I got very involved in working with older people. I ran a legal aid office for senior citizens. I got elected to Congress, and after a number of years in the House, got elected to the Senate. I'm on a number of important committees. I'm on the Finance Committee, on the Energy Committee. I serve on the Intelligence Committee, and then I'm on the Budget Committee and the Aging Committee as well. We wanted to find some new ways that people would find appealing to generate funds for transportation. And at one point, I suggested, why don't we talk to folks on Wall Street and people in the financial community about the prospect of something that I came to describe as the Build America Bond. And Senator Talent and Senator Thune, both Republicans, said, we're in. We want to make this bipartisan. And we began to explore with financial experts, with states and municipalities, transportation authorities, companies, unions, a whole cross-section of people, how we might go about it. People understand what a bond is all about. There's interest you get on the bond. And we said we can make it pretty attractive by having the federal government put a tax credit on top of it. For the next 2 years, it's going to be possible for the states and the municipalities to issue these Build America bonds. Just in the last couple of weeks alone, there have been something like $7 billion worth of bonds issued. These are taxable bonds, but with the very generous federal tax credit that will be available over the next 2 years, there's a reason why you are seeing transportation authorities across the country from east to west. I know there was a big set of bonds issued by the Metropolitan Transit Authority in New York City here recently, California, all across the country. Municipal authorities are looking at this as a more effective tool than what they have in their toolbox today. And I believe, based on the prospects for the next 2 years, the period in which this legislation covers, there's a chance for perhaps $40 billion worth of bonds to be issued. And that's going to send a very powerful message across the country, and particularly to issuers of municipal bonds, is here's something that is going over in an attractive way. But you cannot have, in this country, big league quality of life with little league transportation. I mean, it is too important to the economy, and it literally is too important to the quality of life that our citizens have every single day. I'm always struck by politicians talking about family values and that sort of thing. Well, I think it'd be pretty good value for people not to have these incredibly long commutes in a lot of instances, commutes that are in effect generated because transportation systems are outmoded, and it takes them a lot longer to get back and forth between work and home and taking care of their family responsibilities. It's out of the gate. We've got a lot to do to walk it through the system. I like to characterize it as I'm going to spend my time taking up with my constituents to make sure that the shovels are not just ready, but the shovels are used. We want to get the stimulus to the point where it's not just shovels ready, but shovels dirty. And I'm spending a lot of time working with our State Department of Transportation and local transportation authorities to make sure that that's the case. It's a challenging road, but it's a road that I think we can use to take us to where we need to go, which is adequate funding of transportation in our country. There are a lot of competing interests today. Certainly there's going to be a great need for progress in fixing the tax code, in fixing the healthcare system, in addressing our energy challenges. So there are a lot of pressing needs. So this is a very good time to talk about the importance of transportation being a link to progress in virtually all of those areas. You want to fix the energy system in this country. To a great extent, it also involves addressing transportation needs, whether it's improved highways or mass transit or a host of other transportation alternatives. That'd be my message to AASHTO as we move into this critical period in terms of preparing to renew the surface transportation bill.